I am Changsung from BITMAX. Today, I'm here to introduce a project called ELI made by our team. ELI project is Line cryptocurrency wallet platform. For instance, wallet is a tool when we keep our money and take it out when we need it. But cryptocurrency wallet is instead of money, we put in cryptocurrency and we store and take out cryptocurrency. So ELI is the cryptocurrency wallet system that we use in Line Group. Right now, we are using this in BITMAX exchange in Japan, and in the future, we will be able to use ELI in Bitfront cryptocurrency exchange in the United States. So this is the agenda for today. What is ELI and why did we make it? And in the middle, I want to tell you the major features of ELI and how ELI works and the difficulties when we were developing the project and what kind of plans we have for future. Then now, what is ELI? Please look at the picture below. So I want to explain ELI using this picture. User A wants to send Bitcoin to user B using exchange. User A uses BITMAX and user B uses an exchange which is not BITMAX. Let's just suppose that. Usually we go to the bank to transfer money, right? But when we need to transfer, we have to have the account information of the user. So when sending Bitcoin, user B's Bitcoin account is needed. And user B will have to request for the Bitcoin account to the exchange that the user is using. And then the exchange will create the account and give the account to user B. So that was number 1 in the process, creating Bitcoin account. Now that the account has been created, user A will ask user B to withdraw through BITMAX. So at that time, in this time, BITMAX should clearly analyze the spec of the Bitcoin network and make and disseminate the data in a way that can be used in the Bitcoin network. So that is called withdrawal, which is number 2. So now withdrawal has been completed and we have to deposit to the recipient's exchange. Then how do you do that? We have to analyze the Bitcoin network from user B's exchange and we have to do the transfer at the safest time in the same way that the user B is using. And that was the third deposit process. So far, we have achieved our goal because user A sent Bitcoin to user B. But here's one more important thing, which is number 4. So far, exchanges have seen a lot of incidents. In cryptocurrency world, we need to have a way to keep it really safe, and it has to be safe from inside and outside attacks and protect the users. So again, when sending cryptocurrency to someone, the important function is creating the account for the cryptocurrency, making a deposit, withdrawing, and keeping it really safe. Then let's take a look at the second case. So in typical virtual currency exchange, they usually deal with multiple cryptocurrencies. Maybe there are some exchanges that deal up to 100. But in this case, let's just assume that BITMAX also deals Ethereum. So BITMAX has to analyze Ethereum network and the burden is on the exchange. So the exchange has to develop all 4 functions. In addition, from Line Group's perspective, there is BITMAX in Japan and Bitfront, the cryptocurrency exchange in the United States. They are under the same group but different services. So they require the same process to be developed differently. Then BITMAX and Bitfront will both have to develop the functions to list Ethereum, meaning that it's repetitive development, and this leads to inefficiency. And another problem is added as blockchain is getting more attention and Line is also more interested in blockchain service. So not only BITMAX and Bitfront, but also many other teams in Line want to communicate with blockchain to provide their service. Then every time we need to develop based on the four approaches, repetitive development will happen and it will lead to even more inefficiency. And also, we have to comply with the laws of each country, and we have to deliver the data we need in accordance with those laws. But we also have to create a safer system by taking in the requirements. And as we receive these kind of requests in this situation, each exchange and various services will have to continue to develop on their own and will have to comply and become more inefficient. This is why we made ELI. As shown in the figure, understanding and developing cryptocurrency, the four functions will be developed by ELI, but various services within Line Group, including BITMAX and Bitfront and other services, will not communicate directly with cryptocurrency, but communicate only with ELI. This means that they can use a single easy interface that ELI is providing, and they don't have to understand complex cryptocurrency, and they don't have to do any efforts to keep it really safe. They just have to delegate the work to ELI. And because ELI has to respond to compliance, inefficiency can be reduced here as well. So then these are the reasons why we made ELI. First is to reduce inefficiency, and repetitive development could mean that completely same functions are being developed in different services. And repetitive development means that developing is done by different services. So cryptocurrency may be stored with different security level. ELI is independently run, and we went through a lot of reviews and we put focus on security. So ELI can provide a strong security for the services that are connected to ELI. And also ELI has benefits in maintaining and operating, so that's why we developed ELI. So then let me introduce the four major features of ELI. The four features are withdrawal, deposit, and policies that we are making, meaning that it is to prevent mistakes by users and abusing. So let's say that you want to withdraw money from account A to B, but you have sent it to account C, and it could lead to an accident. So if you put in the addresses in the withdrawal address whitelist, it won't send to other places or accounts. Another function we have is spending limit. Spending limit is a step that no longer automatically withdraws when a certain amount of withdrawal occurs. It requires approval from the administrator. So let's say that a typical exchange withdraws about 100 BTC a day, and one day suddenly it asks for 1000 BTC. It could be a problem or an abnormal use. So in this case, instead of automatically withdrawing money, we do pending, and then we send a notification to the manager so that we can check whether it's abusing or just a normal usage. Third is security, which we put the most efforts into. As I said before, keeping our clients' assets and our company's assets really safe. So we want to tell you by showing this example. So first, let's assume that there's a really safe and secure safe, and there are assets for the company and the individuals in the safe. And let's say that there is only one key that opens the safe. It looks really secure, but the problem is that there is only one key. So the problem is that if the person who has the key has bad intentions to open up the safe and take the asset of the company and the individual. And another is that the person could lose the key and someone else picks up the key and gets everything in the safe. And the third problem is that somebody can copy the only key. So there are security issues. And we usually call single sig for having just one key in cryptocurrency. And single sig is a big security threat, so we use multi-sig. So you can probably understand easily about multi-sig if you look at the picture on the right. There are 3 keys, and out of the 3 keys, you have to have the 2 keys. So it means that even if you lose a key, or if someone who holds the key has a malicious intention, since they don't have another key that's required, they cannot open the safe. So multi-sig provides better security than single sig, and it is safer. So when we need 3 to 2 keys, we say it as 2 of 3 multi-sig. We also provide M of N multi-sig. Providing multi-sig alone has given us enough stability, but we're not sure if any of these individual keys can be stored more reliably. So we're using a special hardware called HSM to store and manage the keys. A machine called HSM is a machine that specializes in storing keys. And if the keys are stored in there, no one can access the key. And no one can get access to the key. It's very secure. And the HSM we are using is a product we've received from the US. And it's level 3. And it means that when someone inside or outside tries to force the HSM to get access to the key, it automatically deletes the key inside the machine when it's detected. So it protects against internal and external threats, and no developer or manager can get access to HSM. And we provide strong security so that no one can read or take the key in HSM. Lastly, we have network isolation. ELI's network is isolated, so we have the network that's not shared with other services in line. And when there's an attack or a threat or an error in the networks in other services line, ELI doesn't get infected. Let me explain how this is operated. I'm trying to eliminate some technical parts to help you understand easily. So please don't think that this is a perfect explanation, but just understand that this is an easier version. So first, let me show you what happens when a user wants to create a Bitcoin account through BITMAX. The user requests the creation of an account with BITMAX, and the security staff in BITMAX enters the offline security room and takes the offline client with the offline computer and creates 2 encrypted keys. The first key will be stored in a secure offline storage. So there is a real physical safe here, and the keys are stored in that physical safe. And the second key generated is stored in a server called KMS, which is directly connected to BITMAX. It means that 2 of the keys out of 3 are created. And in this situation, BITMAX asks ELI to generate the last 3rd key. ELI asks HSM to generate the last key, and the 3 keys are completed, so you can create an account. Then ELI creates an account and throws it to BITMAX, and BITMAX can finally address the Bitcoin address to the user on the screen. So as you can see, all 3 keys are made, but they're all physically differently located and stored in a different network, so it's very safe. Then let me tell you about the second situation where the user withdraws. When the user requests withdrawal through BITMAX, BITMAX requests a signature to KMS. So I'll tell you again, it's not asking for the key, but it's asking for the signature. A signature is any data that can be made through the key, and it cannot be traced back to the signature by looking at it. So BITMAX takes one withdrawal request and one signature to ELI, and ELI requests a second signature from HSM. Likewise, it's not asking for the key, asking for the signature, so there's no access to the key. So in this situation, ELI has one request and two signatures, so you can send this data to blockchain, and blockchain will verify that the signature is really accurate, and if it is, it sends to blockchain network, and it will be arrived at the recipient's exchange, and it will be deposited. So let's take a look at from an attacker's side. Let's say that if you get into access to HSM from ELI network, nobody can get access to the key through KSM. And the second case is accessing KMS. But the key in KMS is encrypted, so it's not easy to take, and you have to recover even if you have taken the key, so it's impossible to do anything. And the third is that, let's say that the attacker gets access to the secure offline storage. I don't know where that is, and let's say that the person or the attacker physically gets into the safe, but still it's only 1 out of 3, so it's meaningless even if you succeed as an attacker. So let me tell you about the difficulties when developing. I needed to understand better about HSM because it was my first time using it. And there was a memory leak issue because I didn't know and I didn't have a clear understanding about HSM. And we deal a lot of cryptocurrencies, so we had to have different parts for cryptocurrency. So there were some difficulties in dealing with cryptocurrencies. There are some coins that don't support multi-sig, and we had to implement multi-sig. So we had to provide multi-sig with smart contracts, and that was a challenge for us. And lastly, I want to tell you what we will do next with ELI. So far, cryptocurrencies have faced a lot of accidents. You had to have an issue of security, and cryptocurrencies were managed poorly, even if they had to be dealt in a safe way. But ELI is being really well managed, and it is in compliance with other countries. And we want to share this ELI platform with other services in Line Group and other cryptocurrency holders in other countries and other exchanges. By sharing our value to other players in cryptocurrency ecosystem, we want to build a more reliable market in infrastructure for the cryptocurrency world. So please look forward to what ELI will be bringing to the users and exchanges in the ecosystem. So this is the end of my presentation on ELI. Thank you for listening.